National President of National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, a media parley held on Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. There is a saying that says, when the lion roars at door, it's not for war, but to announce the return of order to the savannah. Esteemed member of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense gratitude and unwavering conviction that I welcome you all to this historical media parley, the first official address of my tenure as President of National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. I do not take this moment for granted. It is not merely a gathering. It is the ignition of a new chapter, one that will redefine how NANS is perceived, how it operates, and how it delivers on the mandate bestowed upon it by over 40.1 million Nigerian students. Let me say this emphatically. I choose to meet with you first because I understand the weight of your pen and the echo of your headlines. In a time when public opinion is as swift as lightning and as viral as wildfire, the media is not just an observer, it is a force. And when that force ends with truth and purpose, it can become a pillar of nation building. As a newly inaugurated president, I bear a vision not to born of personal ambition, but of historical necessity to rebrand NANS and restore its nobility as the conscience of the student community, the vanguard of education advocacy, and a true reflection of the idea that once moved nation from slumber to awakening. But before we build, we must first clear the fog. Let me address the rambling that have found their way into the media space. Claims of factions, contested legitimacy, and image disunity within NANS. I state here without hesitation, NANS is one, indivisible and rooted in legitimately democratic processes. A tree does not become a forest simply because it stands alone in the wind. Leadership in NANS, as with any true democratic institution, is earned through a transparent constitutional process. Those who seek circumvent that will of the student by self-disclaimed leadership position outside this due process are not only acting in error, but also eroding the sacred truth of the student that claim to represent. This is no shortcut to legitimacy. There is no shortcut to legitimacy. This administration was birthed through the rightful process recognized by the student body, and by the grace of history, it will stand. Fame, not as a momentum to one man's vision, but as a movement led by purpose, integrity, and service. Dear comrades of the media, this is not an era for fanfare and political dramatic. This is an era for results. From education to empowerment, from student welfare to nation development, we have a mountain to climb, but we shall not climb it alone. This is why I am extending my arms to you, not as a leader seeking praise, but as a brother seeking partnership. Let us work together to tell the right story, not stories that divide, but stories that inspire. Not stories born from heresy, but truth backed by fact and courage. I must also commend the federal government of Nigeria for the establishment of Nigerian Educational Loan Net Fund, a revolutionary initiative that has already breathed new life into academic dream of thousands. For many students whose hope had been dimmed by financial hardship, Net Fund has rekindled the fire of ambition and the light of possibility. Now stand fully in support of this policy. However, our support comes with vigilance. We shall engage continuously to ensure that the disbursement remains transparent and the process student-friendly and the objective fulfilled. We are not here to clap in the shadow. We are here to contribute to questions and to propose solutions. In this new dispensation, NANS will focus on 1. Strategic education reform and policy engagement. 2. Human capital development and skill acquisition for students. 3. Peace building on campuses. 4. Restoration of NANS international dignities. 5. Partnership with public and private sectors for student-friendly innovations. To the Nigerian media, I appeal, work with us, help us tell the story of a new NANS, one that no longer shoots without substance, but acts with wisdom. As a Yoruba proverb says, the child who washes his hand will dine with others. NANS is ready to wash its hand to dine, not just with others, but to build with them. The reason for you to declare faction is NANS is just two to me, because I've been victim before. During my undergraduate year, 4 years ago, I also contested for this same position, NANS. And immediately I lost NANS election. I got called from several people agitating that what did I want to do. One of them is even the Sahara reporter, trying to lure me into that he want to know what transpired in that election. And after I explained, he's asking me, what's my decision? I gave them that they should leave me, let me think about it. But after I thought about it, I look at how NANS have been having negative names in the society. And by that time, NANS is even having a serious challenge that people don't want to even take us serious then again. Believe NANS always is faction, is faction. I decided to just let it go. And I congratulate the then NANS president, the person of Comrade Sunday Ashefon, who won the election. I also gave him my mandate that whenever he needs my support for him to succeed in that administration, I will give it to him. And by the special grace of God, I give my full support to him. The second reason, I will say you have a political affiliation. Because the opposition party will always run to you to see how they can use you to do things that is not normal. But I was able to stampede and stood my ground that will not be used against this association. Because some of us see NANS as our primary constituency, and we believe in this association because they have built many of us. So those are just two reasons I can tell you that contribute to factional in NANS. Thank you. Yes, we have to commend them, because I can tell you categorically that many of these dropouts, it have reduced drastically of dropout of students in school for financial reasons. Because after NetFund paid your school fees, you still have stipend of 20,000 monthly that you'll be using to feed yourself and do school running. Like what you said earlier on, what is NANS doing with NetFund? I think some days ago we got a press release from National Orientation Agency that some schools are collecting NetFund and they are not disposing it to student loan. Immediately I switched into action. I called my PRO to do a press release on that. Within 2 hours, the chairman, House Committee on NetFund, Comrade Ife Eyindero, give a call across to us through one of the heads that he saw our press release. Did we have any evidence of this? We told him yes, and we went there to pay him a courtesy visit, which he explained to us too, that the thing, they've already involved ICPC to look into it, that we should give them time. And I also met with the NetFund chairman to let him know this is what we are hearing, what is it? Yes. And he told us they will also look into it. I think by next week, Thursday, the NetFund have invited all the SUG presidents of the Nigerian campuses to have a meeting in Abuja. Let them come with their complaint. And the NANS executive will be there too, to discuss and way forward and to know the problem and to see how we can resolve it. But I'm telling you here categorically as a NANS president that any vice chancellor, rector, found warden, or of any dubious character in this network who agitate for their going, they must be removed from office. Because when federal government is trying to do things, the policy that will help Nigeria, some people are there sabotaging it, and NANS will not accept that. We will fight whosoever is found wanting of such character. Thank you very much. And for the Atiku, I can tell you that there is no faction in NANS. Because quote me anywhere that the Atiku, the only 2 times I've seen him in my life, I've talked to him. Whenever I see me, he addressed me as Mr. President. So what are we saying? I just discovered, if you look the picture going around in the whole media yesterday, you see that I've been snapping around, moving, meeting with stakeholders of opposition party. That is to tell you they want to use him. I told you earlier on, if you remember, one of the reasons for faction is NANS is political affiliation. It has shown that it's the opposition party that want to use it, maybe because of what I just told you now, that they see that some of us are commending the good law and the policy of education Mr. President is doing. So they see us now to always oppose government. But some of us, we are intellectual. When we see policy that pays students and that benefits students, we appreciate it for them to do more. Why are they complaining that we are raising praises on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Maybe that is the reason why they want to bring him up. But I can tell you, there's nothing compared to the truth. The truth will always prevail, no matter how long it takes. I was telling somebody in my interview, this online interview this afternoon, they said the NANS president was beaten up. I said they cannot beat me as a NANS president, and the whole country will not be on standby by now. I'm saying it. If he's a NANS president, they should temper with him with me one day and see what it means to be a NANS president. He's not the one who's going around saying sort of thing. A NANS president can never be held for a state for 1 hour, and you will not see the country shaking. Let me tell you, you are talking about who and who am I referring to as the opposition party leader? Yes. Number 1 is the former Vice President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I have a pictorial evidence where he claimed, even in his own Facebook wall, that he, as a NANS president, met with Atiku Abubakar, and there's a picture. Atiku media also posted it. Sulem Lamido, he also met with Showore, who is the publisher of Sahara Reporter. And you will have seen, if you are aware, if you are conversant with your media the way you said earlier on that day I did my inauguration, I talk about how we secure our campuses. I'm going to organize a regional summit, a security summit, because of the killings around our campuses. And the Sogore and the Sahara Reporter, under 3 hours, published 8 different stories about my speech, trying to let people know that I'm castigating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is not securing the campuses. It's not, you understand, you will have seen a political affiliation in those statements. But I don't give a damn. I know what I mean, and I know what I want to do with the regional campus summit I promised to do for Nigerian students. And you also asked me about peace building. Yes, we have 3C in NANS. We call it consultation, consolidation before confrontation. I think I've exhausted the first 2, C. Even though I've not launched the confrontation to him. But I can tell you, I've consulted with this same guy I told you I met him 2 times. And whenever he sees me, let me even explain the first one I met with him. Was when I was on my way to airport. The PTDF have a program of empowerment in University of Uyo. I'm going to Akwa-Ibom. I've already bought, sitting for boarding. I've already checked in, just sitting for boarding. When somebody called me that they said some students, University of Abuja student, have called, what was his name? Atiku. I say, where? Not up to 1 minute again. I also got somebody called, they say it's in your custody. I say, I'll meet them in airport. I even have to do video call with the person to see. The person said, check your Facebook, you will see what he's saying. Immediately, I opened my Facebook page. I saw that too. Unfortunately for me, my mind does not want them to harm me because I know NANS. There's what we call Massimo Shishi. If you know you want to declare for NANS, it's just declaring for faction in NANS. It's just as if you went to a market square place and steal. You should know what will happen to you. So, but I know I have the control of the student. I have to cancel that ticket. I have the ticket with me here. I have to rush down where he is. When I met him, he knelt down that, Mr. President, I'm sorry. I said, Atiku, what's going on? Why are you doing all this? He said, please, I should think about it. And that's the first day I told my team, it will be difficult for this guy to opt out of this. He said, I'm a father of 8. You don't know what it means for you to your children to go to bed without food, without dinner? I told him, what's the problem? What do you want? He said, please, I should help him. That even if for me to empower his wife to start working, I said, Atiku, you know, I'm just a new president. But I can assure you, if you have openness, in some parastatal we are visiting, I can get her a job through appealing. But you, join me as a NANS president, be part of my team. Let's continue working. Unfortunately for me that day, one of our leaders came in, trying to confirm too that, am I with Atiku? Is it true that they've captured Atiku? But immediately I picked the call. I told the speaker that Atiku is even here in front. The man said I should put the phone on speaker, which I did. And he told Atiku, why are you doing this? Atiku said, well, lie, we've resolved. He was just telling the leader. And I told him we've not resolved. All what we need to do is for you to follow me to media. I'm not forcing you. I told him more than 3 times. If you know you are not okay by it, I will still allow these people to release you and go. But I can assure you the next time they will catch you, I will not come to rescue you. Because Nigerian students know their president. And he told me that that this is cloth he store. Please, can I get him jalabia? He was even telling the person to buy size 56. And they rush and get him the jalabia. And I make a call to some media house. They asked us to come and address the press. And after the press, I told him, during that process, I was checking for another flight. Because my program in Akwa-Ibom is for 11 a.m. So I saw a flight of 7 a.m. to Akwa-Ibom the next day. I said, let me book that. So on that process, after the whole press release, where he have agreed that NANS is united, we are one, I told him, okay, go and stay in so-so hotel. I will meet you there. He said, no, he's scared, he cannot go that far. Why? Okay, where do you want to stay? He said, he's even having some debt. I said, I don't have money. Look at my account, this is what I have in my account. But if you know you can get a hotel, stay, I will be back in 2 days so that we can resolve and talk more. He said, no problem, Mr. President. I made a transfer of 500,000 Naira to his account. I have the receipt. And he said, thank you. And he left. When he was going, he still called me back that he have not eaten. To tell you how dramatic this was. I still call my people, that my ESCO, please take him to a restaurant, let him eat and go. So when he was going with them, me, I'm on my way to the hotel too, so that I can leave the next morning. But I told him when he freshened up, he should call me, I will come so that we'll talk. So after I left there, they said he eat. When he was going with them, he started telling them that he wish I can give him director of action and mobilization, so that I would say no problem. When they told me on phone, I started calling him. He did not pick the call till the day I was called by a security agency that they said they kidnapped Atiku. I said, how will I know? I'm on my way to Ministry of Education to pay a courtesy visit to Minister of Education on this net fund matter and the other scholarship, federal scholarship board. People have been chatting me, sending me message that they've not paid them for scholarship. But I told the security agency that called me that I will make a call. If I can get wherever he is, I will go there to see. Because the last time I spoke to him was when we had an agreement that I'm going to pay him, he's going to give him a director of action and mobilization and to help his wife. Only for that day, when I came there, I saw him, they've already lynched him. I saw his hand with a cotton wool. And I didn't even utter a word to him. Immediately he saw me too, he was just saying, I'm sorry, Mr. President. I'm sorry, Mr. President. I was just looking at him. And up to 1 minute, the security people came with their in-laws and they took him away there. So I don't know anything about more than what I just narrated to you. Thank you.